This podcast is about real conversations, real struggles, and real growth in Christ. Whether you're in uniform or just trying to figure out life, we are here to pursue God wholeheartedly together.
Hey friends, welcome to LPC Podcast, a space for young adults chasing Jesus in a world full of noise. Here, we talk faith, real life struggles, and victories, all through the lens of God's Word. Whether you're wrestling with doubt, building community, or learning how to walk boldly with Christ in your daily life, you're not alone. So grab your coffee, lean in, and let's grow together in faith, hope, and love.
Get started!
Just that machine gun sound effects.
Just kidding. Nah, she won't go. Hey guys, welcome back to another sidebar episode of Table Talks with LPC Youth. We have another one, as promised. I told you guys I want to go through and start interviewing all of our youth. And today I am joined by a young gentleman from our youth class. This guy's a mechanic, he's a guitar player, and he's also serving in the Navy Active Reserve. I have with me today
Brian Alberto Quiroz Cruz.
Dang, the government name.
The government name. The whole...
The social security también, bro?
Last four would be... I don't know. Forgot it.
I don't need your social, bro. If you want to give me your debit card number.
Yeah, credit card number.
The CBC code.
Expiration date in the
7/20, I think. Expiration date today.
Yeah, so we're here to debrief Brian. We're going to be just talking, just casual conversation, bro. Like I said, we're going to keep it lighthearted. We'll go through just your different stages of life just so people get to know you. Me personally, I feel like low-key, like I know you.
But you don't know me.
But I don't know a lot
we've
about
had
you.
personal questions.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Well, because I genuinely have curious questions about your time in the Navy.
Okay.
Your life. You know, you show us the YouTube videos of your dad playing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm curious of your early walk,
Okay.
as a kid.
Young
Brian.
Brian.
I want to
Young
go.
Brian.
I want to go all the way back,
Child
just
Brian.
so we can get to know you. You know what I mean?
Okay, for sure.
So we'll go ahead and just start there. As far as your early walk goes, what's the earliest memory you have from just going to church or being in church?
Going and being in church. So realistically, our parents were not religious at all. Like, well, my dad, he was in Veracruz, whatever. He was like in church, like one of the Pentecostals. My mom, she wasn't. She was Catholic. And so when they came over here to the United States, they told me they went to a Catholic church. Like my dad and everyone went to a Catholic church, my aunts or whatever. So after that, my mom was like, not for me, whatever. And my dad was like, yeah, it's not for me either, whatever it was. But during that time, I was in a Catholic school that was a part of the church. So it was like, kind of worked out, I guess.
Right.
Realistically. So I think when I was like 7 or 8, my mom was like, yeah, let's go to another church. My dad was like, okay, we'll find another church. We'll figure it out together. So in Waco at the time, we went to another church with a pastor. His name was Arturo Trejo. The church was called Pan de Vida.
Okay.
And they were like, Mama was like, this is way better. I like this. This is great. Because the pastor was also a musician and he had his own band or whatever.
Okay.
And so after that, young Brian was like, okay, you know.
So you were born in Waco?
I was born in Waco, yes.
Okay.
Yes. Born and raised till I was like 15.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah, we recently moved out here 10 years from now.
So whenever you were a kid,
10 years ago.
10 years ago, bro.
so whenever you were a kid, your parents weren't going to church at the time. They had left.
Mm-hmm.
And how old were you whenever they were going to church?
7 or 8.
7 or 8.
7 or 8.
So prior to that, do you remember what life was like? I know you were 7 years old, so you were a kid, but
I mean, I remember like brief parts was like me going to that Catholic school.
sorry, go ahead.
So me being a part of the Catholic school, I remember all that. It was, the teachers were not very nice, in my opinion. They were kind of mean. They were mean as Catholic teachers. I don't know what about it, but just they were like super strict at things. So I was a troublemaker kid.
Well, you guys were pretty active in that church, though. Whenever you were.
And the Catholic church or the Catholic church we weren't. We were just going
Just Easter Sunday.
Yeah, Easter Sunday.
Hey, that's us,
whatever.
Yeah, we were Catholic growing up too, and we'd only go
Yeah.
Easter, we'd go Christmas.
Yeah.
I remember we'd go hang out just for the Easter holidays.
Yeah. We just hang out that.
And we did.
Yeah, because whoever the bishop or whatever it was like, you got kids, we can put them in our school. It would be good.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So at that point, you're 6, 7 years old. Your parents start going to church in Waco,
Mm-hmm.
and at that point, it's like apostolica, right?
No, it was a Trinitarian church.
Oh, okay,
It was
okay.
a Trinitarian.
Gotcha.
For most of for young crew's life was Trinitarian, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, because that's what the preacher
Right.
it's saying. And so, after that, we stood there for like a little while, and the music was great. It was like one of my things I loved about it. Loved the music.
Yeah,
Music.
absolutely.
Growing up in elementary school and middle school, I was in the band, or not in a band, but like in the music class, and I really stride in there. Like any other class, any subject.
Dang, so playing guitar from early on or what?
No, actually, I used to play the xylophone when I was a kid. That was like my first like introduction to music.
I'm a Bible, bro.
Xylophone.
We shouldn't go mariachi band in here, bro. I'm gonna get back on that trumpet.
Yeah, in elementary school, they used to take us like competitions or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, you're xylophone. I like, cool. And that was elementary school. And in 6th grade, we moved to another school. I wasn't there for like the whole elementary school. From 1 to 5th, pre-K or kindergarten to 5th grade. And then,
Gotcha, okay.
And then my dad started working more on the ranch side of things.
Mm-hmm.
So we moved away from sort of Waco area to I think it was called Chilton ISD, which is middle school 6th through 8th, I believe. And that's when I started my band journey. So I started playing a lot of band, like percussionist.
Oh, okay.
Percussionist. First, so we had 2 different band teachers actually. One I guess quit or just got laid off, or I don't know what happened. And so the first teacher was like, "You can play trombone." All right, cool. Started playing a little bit of trombone, and then I think half of the semester he got swapped out. He left or whatever. Then we got this pastor from another small town out there. His name was Mr. Beecham, I believe so. Mr. Beecham was a pastor in Marlin, Texas, and he was like, "All right, I want you to play percussions or whatever."
Right.
Since they had their whole lineup or whatever. So I was like, "Okay, percussion it is." So I started playing a lot of percussion, drums or whatever. And then we did marching band or whatever. And then we played for the high school band. Like we played for the high school football team,
right.
whatever. It was fun. It was great. And then after whatever, it was like, "Hey, we're going to celebrate with some Whataburger." So it was just, the teacher was like, "Who wants Whataburger?" And I was like, "All right, let's get Whataburger." And he'd take us all to Whataburger in the bus to play or eat after we played or whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So at that point, whenever you guys were going to those Trinitarian church, when did you guys make a change? Like, how old were you when you guys made a change to like Apostolic Church? Remember?
So the Apostolic Church, I was, I think 12 or 13 is teenage years. Teenage years for me. Yeah, we left that church because we were like, I don't know, something happened. But they were like, okay, now we're going to find another church. Then we went to the First Apostolic Church. We went there for like a year or 2.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I didn't play in the choir, I guess, or the worship team or whatever. So I was just there, just there. And for that, I think with like a year or 2,
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't like it, but I just didn't feel right in there for some reason.
Okay.
It was odd for me.
Mm-hmm.
Since I was been in the Trinitarian and then jumping over, it was like I don't see the
You know, it's the big difference.
the big difference.
Okay.
Big difference because it was like a different lifestyle. I like to say
Right.
because that church was a little bit bigger than the one we were used to.
Yeah.
Everyone was so like family oriented, and
tight-knit,
it was like everyone was everybody. You know, we talked normal to everybody. We had like parties or like get-togethers every weekend or whatever.
So you started going to this church. You're 16, and you're not playing any instruments.
No, none at all. I just stood there.
Are you active in the church at all, or just kind of going Sundays, going Wednesdays?
So for that one, I wasn't active like worship or whatever. But they take us to like youth camps or whatever. Youth camps.
Okay.
So for that, we were in conjoined with another church. I was with it. I think it was the English class, I believe.
Right.
It was like 2 churches going on, one for English and one was Spanish. So they're like, "Oh, hey, your kids can go to youth camp or whatever." So we went there for like a couple of days or whatever.
Okay.
It was like, I think, we went there for a couple of days. We had fun or whatever, and then we came back. It was like on a Monday or Tuesday or whatever. So it's like, skip school, not bad. I liked it. But that was like the only time I was like involved in like churches like that.
Gotcha.
I
Okay.
was involved.
So at that point, even so, you're looking at it from that music perspective. If we were to take a step back, since you went into mechanical school, which we'll get into that, but where do you think that started? Like in your childhood?
In your childhood,
as far as you've always been mechanically inclined, or what?
So, funny story with that would be my dad. I got it from my dad, I think, because he used to have a Toyota MR2, a 1990s, all yellow. They call it the Tweety Bird.
Since you were a kid?
Because he was a kid. He was like fixing it or whatever. I was like, I like this.
So growing up, you'd watch him take it apart.
Take it apart, put it back together. Watch movies, whatever, like Fast and Furious, whenever that came out. I was like, I like this. I like this a lot.
Okay. So same thing. You always been mechanically inclined to a kid.
Yeah. And then Legos. Legos was a big thing with me. I like building Legos. It was like, like one of my little quick hobbies I like to do.
So as far as like, I'll ask you this first question that I have here is, how do you consider your spiritual life was growing up as a kid? I know you had a lot of jumping around and stuff like that, but you think you were always seeking, or how do you feel about your spiritual walk with Christ?
When I was a kid, I was seeking. I was most definitely seeking, but any church I went to when I was a kid, teenage years, I was like seeking, you know, because I remember the pastors telling me how great Lord Jesus was, and like the Lord and everything was like, right. Yeah, it's like how great He is. It's like, I want to seek that for myself, you know. And I think what inclined to me was the music more.
Yeah, absolutely. Same here.
It's like worship was like, oh, I love the music. And I was just inclined to it. I was like, I want to play it, you know?
Yeah.
Since I was a kid.
So then you get into your teenage years and still the same way, you were always kind of inclined to the church, or you never?
So in my teenage years, after 16, when we left the other church, we moved up here. We went to Wichita. And then the Wichita one was, I was active. I was playing the drums for a little bit. I was still in band, so I knew my rhythm a bit more. And I knew the songs and all those, the cumbias or whatever, so on and so forth. So I was like, okay. I like this. I started playing. Never played guitar like that either when I was a kid. Never played it. Or my youth growing up, never played it. Never picked it up.
Just playing drums, stuff like
playing
that.
Drums.
Percussions.
Yeah, percussions. Just what I was good at was percussionist. So that's what I did a lot. And from when I was 17 to when I was shipped off to the military, I was like just in that church.
Oh, just there.
Playing. We went to conventions over there in Oklahoma.
Oh, you guys played there too?
Well, I didn't play there, but we just went over there and like they needed musicians. So I was like, I don't know. I don't know the songs you were playing, so I was like, I was nervous.
Yeah, that's my thing too. Is let me know what songs you're playing first.
And then I will know. You know, it's like, do you know how to play cumbias? I know how to play that for sure. But like other rhythms, I was like, I don't know.
Okay, so staying on that same train of thought, as far as just your spiritual life growing up, do you have like a moment where you were like, you know what? I'm gonna lean into God fully. Like I'm gonna seek Him. I'm gonna follow Him. You know, because like me growing up, my parents would take me to church, and I was like, yeah, we're going because my parents are going to church. You know what I mean? I went through what I call my rebel stage. Where I was like, I'm gonna go because my parents are telling me to go. Yeah. You know, once I turned around 19 years old, 20 years old, you know, I got baptized, and then that's whenever I decided, you know, well, let's truly commit. Let's make a commitment for myself, not because my mom and my dad are telling me, but because I want to, because you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you have, you remember whenever you made that commitment, that choice yourself?
Okay, so speaking on the baptism or whatever, I was baptized twice because one was like the Trinitarian way, and the other one was the brother who comes up here, Felipe. I got baptized by him, and I was like, he was telling me all like giving me lectures, like giving me lessons to build me up to get baptized or whatever. I was like, okay, and I was like 18 or 19. This is like pretty recent. Second time, I was like, all right, now. Because before that, I was like, I like this. I like this feeling when I play. I like how good it makes me feel.
Right.
Yeah, at peace. I got a purpose for that. For the spiritual walk I have. I was like, and then one of the key moments I was like, all right, I'm gonna go lean in. Was one of the conventions we had in Oklahoma. One of the, I think the head pastors over there in Wichita Falls, or well, the guy we were in church with, but like he was like running the whole ordeal essentially. He was like having one of his churches, like, oh, we want you to come over. We like talking to you, whatever. He was like, okay, cool. And we went over there in Oklahoma. And so I was like there worshiping or whatever. And I got called like during like the altar service. He's like, everyone come up. Whoever wants to come up. I was like, and I went there with myself. Just went there by myself. And I was like,
okay.
And then spiritually, I was like praying. It's like I want to incline to you, Lord. Or, like I want to feel the presence, like a good, like not much.
And how old were you, you said?
16, 17 years old. I was like, I want to feel this. And then I did. And I fell down. I remember. I was like, as soon as I fell down, someone caught me last minute. So I was like, okay. And I fell down. And I was just at peace. At that moment, I was like, I was surreal in love with peace and like all this, all that fun stuff. And I was like, man, this is wonderful. I like this.
Like, I want this all the time.
I want this all the time. You know.
Yeah.
I want this. And I was like, you know what? I like where I'm heading at in my life. Before I did move to the military or whatever.
Right.
Like,
we'll get into that in just a second.
Yeah. And I was like, I like this. I like this.
So whenever I know we're going to touch base on the military, but going into the military, you already had good spiritual life. I
was at church. Yeah, I always went to church, whatever. I went to church. I got baptized, and I was like, all right, I guess it's time for me to see. When I graduated from school, I was like working at a feed store. I was a forklift driver and just handing feed. I was like, I don't know if I want to do this for the rest of my life, you know?
Right.
Because my dad was like, always telling me, like,
because from a young age, I'm assuming you're also just helping your dad out at the ranch.
Yeah, helping with my ranch.
Just in Waco and out here, always livestock.
Yeah, livestock, ranch life, never city life. And I was a kid, I was like, I want to see what city life is like. I don't know how to do that because I wasn't gifted like education wise. I was like, I wasn't very good at education. I was like, not like cup of tea, I would say. But like sports or whatever, sure. Like I could see it, but realistically,
you played sports in high school?
Yeah, I did play sports. Okay.
You were 16. You're in high school at that point?
Yeah, it was high school.
What sports you play?
Oh, from middle school to high school, mostly I played with basketball and track. That was the main two.
Okay.
Football was like from 6th grade to like 9th grade year. And I was like, not for me.
Now I'll ask you this just because I was like what you would call closeted Christianity. Were you were unashamed whenever you were in high school? Like you're like, yeah, I go to church.
I was ashamed.
I
was afraid of being like ridiculed off to like get away from like people. So I hanged out with like, so I kind of like resembled with it with the band nerds because I was like with the band kids. I was like, okay, cool. Because some of them did believe, and I was like, they didn't proclaim. They were closeted as well, so they like come together as one, like a little huddle group.
And I say that that's the only reason I asked you because growing up, me as well, I was like, I remember. I mean, I'm ashamed of it now, but I remember my prayer life would be, God, just let me graduate, and then I'll serve you openly. You know what I mean? And now I'm just, I feel bad for it now, but that's the reality of the situation. So that's why I wanted to ask. So you were kind of on the same boat.
Yeah, I was on the same boat.
If people ask me if I went to church, I'd say yes. I'd be ashamed to say yes.
Yeah, I'd say yes.
And I guess because I hung out with the people that didn't go to church, because there were people that went to church, but I hung out with the ones that didn't. So I was like,
the rebels or whatever. So I got that mindset.
Okay,
what would I do?
All right, so at that point, you're going from different churches and stuff, and then you're in Wichita. You made that commitment when you're about 16, 17 years old. You've already experienced that spiritual connection with God. You're going through high school, and then at that point, how old are you whenever you decide or you make the decision to join the Navy?
So I always wanted to become some part of law enforcement in my life, or like some part of government work. Okay. It was kind of like that. When I was a kid, I saw a magazine of a SWAT team member. I was like, I want to be that. I like guns or whatever, like a normal kid would,
I want to shoot somebody.
Not shoot somebody, but like take away the criminals.
But no, I feel that you want to be some kind of the justice system.
Yeah, justice system.
Right.
Justice system. And I was like, okay, cool, like police officer, state trooper, or whatever. And I was like, you know what? I'm working at this feed store. I want to go experience outside, like go outside, travel the world, whatever.
Okay.
So I was like, okay. So I told my mom, like, hey, and my parents, like, hey, I'm going to join the military. My mom wasn't on the boat with it.
No,
like,
I was going to ask you next. Yeah.
Nah,
so she said, nah.
Nah, you're not going.
Sounds like a typical mom response.
Yeah, typical mom response, right? So I was like, Mom, listen. Like, I need to go away. Because my dad is like, un día te vas a ir, or te vamos a correr, or you can charge sergeant rent, or whatever. So
right.
El resto de cosas and probably move on. It's like, go find your purpose or whatever. So I was like, okay, cool. I think I found my purpose was the military, or joining at least. So I was like, okay, let's do that. So one of the owners at the ranch, her husband was in Air Force. So they started communicating. It was like, hey, Terry's son to join the Air Force. Like, it's great. He can be stationed in Wichita, so he won't be far away. So you can see him every other weekend. I was like, okay, cool.
Right.
So I was like trying to join the Air Force or whatever. So I called the Air Force recruitment center, and I was like, hey, I left a voicemail because they didn't pick up, obviously. So I was like, hey, I'm interested in joining or whatever. And then they never called me back. So I went up to the recruitment center in Wichita Falls. I was like, okay, let's see. The door was closed. So I was like, I guess the next one over is the Navy because I was just going in line. I was like,
Damn, really?
So Air Force, Navy, Marines, Army.
So they haven't even the one that opened the door.
Yeah, they didn't open the door, and I was like, I guess the Navy because let's see the boats are like, you know. So I knocked on their door and they answered immediately. The answer is like, oh hey, welcome in, whatever. How you doing? My name is such and such. You're interested in joining the Navy. I was like, I'm interested in joining a branch, but I know the Army and Marines are like very, very ground oriented. So I was like, I want to see like the sea or air. Yeah. And I was like, luckily I got the sea option. So I went over there and started talking to me. He's like, okay, cool. What do you want to do? Whatever. You got any thoughts? I was like, whatever that makes me like, you know, want to like a boat or like something that at first I was like, send me a boat or whatever, or just pick whatever. So they were like, okay, now take this test. Take the ASVAB test. I was like, okay, cool. First time over there, they like did a fake test, made a 51. So like, okay, you can with that one we can work with like a lot of the rates or a lot of the jobs you were picked. So I was like, okay, you ship off or you go to MEPS or whatever. That's what they call MEPS. It's like the big center, like where you take the official test and then you become. They'll make you choose out of the options to become that job essentially.
Right.
So it's like, and during that time, it's like. They make you recite an oath or whatever. Here, I solemnly swear to join whatever the branch you were going to. So you met a lot of kids, a lot of kids who were going my age, like joining the military or whatever. And my parents come with me, of course. They're like, "So what'd you pick? What'd you pick?" It's like I don't know yet. It's like okay, we gotta wait until they call your name or whatever.
Okay. So at that point, you're there. How old did you say you were working?
I was 19. 18.
So you're 19. I know we haven't brought this up yet, but
yeah.
So you're 19 years old. Yeah, at this point, you've already for yourself decided you're going to join the Navy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Your mom's not too happy.
Not too happy.
And your dad's kind of like,
yeah,
you got to find your own way.
Yeah, find your own way.
Do what you got to do, find your purpose.
Yeah, find my purpose.
And at this point, if you're 19, I mean, you already have Moses and Yatil.
Yeah.
I don't know how old they are respectively, but.
They're like young.
They're young.
Yeah.
Right?
My brother was like, we're 5 years apart.
How did they react?
Like, tell me how it is. Moses, like, he wants to join, but he was like, at the same time, he didn't want to join. He's like, I want to be like him or whatever.
Yeah, Yatil was a baby, bro.
Yeah, she was like, she was
how
young.
How much older than you are?
Oh, so she is 14, I'm 25, so 11-year difference.
11 years?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're 19, damn, bro, she's 8. That's well. So she didn't, I mean, she understands.
She understand that was going away, but she didn't.
Because the moment you left, you were gone for, what, 5 years?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
So whenever you were leaving, she knew, she grasped.
She knew, and everyone started crying, so
Right.
she started crying because, you know, when everyone cries, they cry, you know.
Because I think about it from her perspective, I was like, she's 8 or 9. Mm-hmm. At that point, by the time you come back,
she was like,
she's 14, 15.
Yeah, I missed a lot.
Like you missed a lot of her early development.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Her growing up.
Her growing up.
Because I mean, whenever you're like 6, 7, 8, you know, you don't know nothing.
You don't know good right from wrong.
Yeah,
you're just a kid.
You don't even make. I know you have memories from them.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a lot of memories when you're 10, 11, 12, 13,
yeah,
14.
like a core memory. Of
you weren't there for a long time. You know what I mean?
I wasn't. Most of it was on the phone.
Talking to her and stuff.
Talking on the phone. I remember that. That was kind of hurt me. I was like heartbroken for that.
Right. Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah. So I got shipped off. I was in what was it, Illinois, Chicago. I was in Chicago base up there.
Okay.
So like that was my 6 weeks of boot camp experience in there. So the first time I got a call, like the first time they give you a call, you get a card. Like one of the payphones. It was a payphone situation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like you dial the number, remember their numbers or whatever, and then they're like, okay, cool. I can officially call my parents or whatever. Like a 30-minute call. First call, like everyone was like, "Oh, hey, everybody, it's Brian," and everybody started crying. I was like, "Oh."
So the moment you leave when you're 19, you do basic training and all that stuff. You don't see them again.
No, you don't see them again.
And then I know you deployed.
So, okay. So before that, COVID happened. I remember COVID happening. That was another one. So supposedly when you graduate for those 6 weeks, you're supposed to do like a ceremonial thing. Like your parents will come and see you like in your uniform.
After basic training.
Yeah, after basic training, like during graduation.
All the videos that you see online.
Yeah. It's like, oh, look at my son walking. Yeah. That stuff.
You didn't do that.
None of that happened. It's COVID. Yeah, I was like 6 weeks.
I couldn't make it that much harder, dude.
Yeah, that was terrible. No,
because you're waiting for that moment to be like, I want
like,
to see my parents. It's been, how long has it been at that point?
It's like 4 to 5 weeks. They like tear you down, break you down type situation. They were like, hey, like before COVID happened, before COVID was a thing, they were like, hey, name the 5 people you're going to bring over to your graduation or whatever. Like we will send them notice of like, hey, this is the graduation for such and such for you. But you're going to make this happen. And then like COVID started happening. It's like, because we always hear talks. Because you don't get like non-live updates in the outside world. It was keep you confined.
Oh, yeah.
But you always like have like people who work there, like, hey, you know what such and such is going on, like COVID. And like when Kobe died, like during that year, it was like, like I heard it from word of mouth. It's
a rumor at that
It was a rumor.
Like,
you know, Kobe died. I'm like, nah, there's no way. And it's like he died in a helicopter crash. What everyone's saying is like, I don't believe you. And then we went to medical to get like all the shots or whatever they give you.
Right.
They were like shots, whatever. They're like, yeah, you know that Kobe died, right? It's like, what? And they gave me a shot. I was like a shot of whatever. I was like, ow, all right, like that's a double hurt, you know? It's like, why'd you do this?
Like a vaccine shot.
Yeah, they give
vaccine shot, guys. He's not taking shots.
Shots of no, that would never happen. That would never happen. No,
Just want to clarify that.
Clarify that. Shots of vaccine or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever they put in the syringes. Chill.
Okay, so at that point, like you don't have you have a ceremony, but no one's there.
No,
there.
They never had a ceremony.
And then at what point? Because I know you deployed, and we'll get into that.
They didn't have a ceremony, bro.
No, that's what I'm saying. So, like, there was nothing happened. You didn't get to see your parents or nothing.
No, nothing extravagant happened.
And
like,
then,
hey,
whenever you deploy and stuff, they call you to deploy. You chose to, or how does that work?
Oh, so how it works was like before I get deployed or from first duty station, right? They like give you your job, your MOS or your rate, what they call it. So it was an aviation ordnance technician. So they're like, you work with. The gist of it was like when I talked to somebody, it was like, what's my rate? They're like, I don't know what your rate is. You know, it was like I was just in the air, like, what's my rate? What do I do? You know. So like, hey, you graduate. When I graduated, it's like, hey, you're going to Pensacola, Florida for like schooling for it. So I was there for like 4 weeks. I was there for 4 weeks during March to May, I think. That was my time frame for going to school, or whatever. So COVID happened, or whatever. They shut everything down. They're like, hey, this is your school. You're gonna learn about guns, bombs, missiles, ordnance, all that stuff, because your job will entail building it, maintaining it. And also, like, just get it ready for whenever happens, you know? Like, put it, like, on training or whatever for pilots or whoever needs them. So, okay, cool. And then, like, during the time in school, they were like, hey, here's your orders. This is your first company or your battalion or your place where you're going to work at. Your command. Like, your command duty station. That's what they call it, or for us on our side. So I was like, okay, cool. Let's see what I got. Because everybody beside me got boat. Like, everybody got boat.
Okay.
And, like, for me, I was like, helicopter squadron. So, like, helicopters. I don't know what that entails. And I asked the teachers, like, you know anything about helicopters? Like, no idea. So I was, like, in the blind on that one, too. I was like, okay, cool. And so, like, also, you have another school again. But this time it's going to be in San Diego, California. Coronado base. So I was like, okay, Coronado base, great. So they shipped me there. Or they go me to school there just for schooling there. To learn about the helicopter side of the AO or the technical ordnance technician side of things. Mm-hmm. So like, this is what you're going to happen. This is what you're going to do. COVID happened still. And they're like, you're not getting shipped out anytime soon to your command because of COVID. So it was like heavy during that time. It was heavy. Like during, May to August, I believe. It was like heavy. So everything was locked down. So you couldn't do much. You can't leave base. You can only exercise, whatever.
Right.
Walk around, get groceries or whatever. But you can never go outside of the base. You were confined in there. So I was like, I don't know what to do. Like, I got nothing to do. The only thing I got was an Xbox and a TV in my room, and I started just playing that for like the time to kill time at least.
Yeah. Well, it was around this time that you told me before that you started playing the guitar? You took one with, or this is later? No,
this is later still.
Okay. Yeah, at this point, no guitars in the picture?
No guitar, no instruments, no nothing. No band, no nothing. I was
just Xbox.
Just Xbox and TV for COVID. And so they're like, okay. And then I met a couple of my friends in there too. Like, I didn't know them as much, but I remember most of my classmates were my friends.
Right.
They're like, hey, I know you go to our class. You want to hang out? You want to hang out sometime or whatever? It's like, sure. Like, I'll hang out with you. Why not? You know, I did get out of my room and see things, but most of them were worldly. So I was like, okay, everyone drank, smoked, or whatever. So I was drinking. I was like, for me, I was like, not me, because, you know, I told them I don't like it because
right.
I was Christian or whatever. So I was like, okay. They're like, they understood it to a certain extent. Like, once they get drunk, they're like peer pressure you.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, take a shot, take a shot, take that. So I was like, I'm still not going to take it.
So going from that real quick, going through your basic training and everything that we're up to at this point,
Yeah.
do you feel like your spiritual walk grew or was hindered, or how do you feel like that going through that process of the military or the Navy, it impacted your walk with Christ?
So during my boot camp time, they gave us Sundays for like worship days.
Oh, they did?
They,
Oh,
they
I didn't know
did.
that.
They did. They were like,
Okay.
hey, whoever's a believer of whoever. So the crazy part about that was like everybody who believed in it goes to this service, realistically.
Uh-huh.
They have like time slots or whatever.
Okay.
But most of them didn't have like the ones that I knew, like Apostle or whatever, Orthodox baptism, whatever. It was like Islam, Orthodoxy, Buddhism, whatever, such as it to accommodate everybody. So and then like the last page was like gospel. So I was like, okay, let's go to that. And then most of them were there. Most of them were there just to chat it up.
Okay.
Most of them would chat it up, talk
Yeah.
about rumors or whatever. Since they have like free will, and, like people can talk to one another. I was like,
Yeah.
this is like I won't say it's pointless, but it's like I can't.
They'd go kind of just to
Yeah, it was just there
get
and
away
then
for
back.
a second.
Yeah, they get away for a second and then come back. It's like okay, so it's like an hour or two.
but you would go.
I will go. Yes, I will sign up and go. Like I was like, I want to go. Like I need to get my like freedom at least. So
Yeah.
it was like talk or whatever. And then we went through the service. I was like, okay. They played like recorded music. They played, and then some dude talked for a little bit, and then they'd be like, okay. The pastor, or whatever, I think was a chaplain. That's what they call it for like religious figures in the military.
Uh-huh.
For us, it was like chaplains that talk about it, like God or whatever, and they give you Bibles or whatever, like a little military Bible they give you. I still have it. It's a little camouflage Bible.
Okay.
So like, I'll bring it some point. I think I had it. Yeah, it's in my room somewhere. I'll bring it. It was a super small Bible, and I was like, okay, cool. And then after that, my first time there, I was like, okay, like my spiritual walk is like, okay, cool. I get to experience God for a little bit. For the time there.
Yeah.
I was so closeted there. I was like, I didn't pray as much or whatever.
Oh yeah, same boat.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like closeted still. I was like, I read my Bible, sure, like when everyone's asleep, but like when I'm out or whatever, I just didn't read, didn't have time, or like, I chose not to. I was like afraid of that because the people will make fun of you, or whatever, talk bad about you, ridicule you, you know. So I was like, I was trying to blend in with them, blend in, praying or whatever. I was like, not much of, like I didn't pray as much either. Even then, I was like, I didn't want to, you know. I was like I felt bad. Like I felt bad. Like, looking back, like you said, I feel like super bad about it. I was like, I should have done more, you know. Like,
yeah. Looking back at it now.
Yeah, it's like.
So at this point, how old are you whenever, like fast forward a little bit, how old are you whenever you get deployed?
So my first time getting deployed was 2022, I believe. So I was 22, basically.
You're 22.
I was 22. I was in March 2022.
So whenever they call you and they tell you, hey,
They just tell you one day,
they
like,
just tell you
hey,
you're getting deployed?
yeah, they're like, hey,
They don't
you're
give you
on deployment detachment 4.
They don't give you a reasoning or anything like that. They don't
No.
tell you what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
They don't.
They're like, hey, I know you're the weakest link, or like you're like the new person,
The bottom of the toilet bowl?
bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
You're gonna get told to go over here. You can't say no. So I was like,
Okay.
and my thought was like, all right, I'm getting deployed. Okay, cool. Where am I going? They're like, you're going on a boat or whatever.
You scared?
I was afraid at the time because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah, that's exactly
Yeah,
what
I was like,
asking.
I
So
don't
what's
know.
going through your mind whenever they tell you that news? What's going through your
I
mind?
had to call my parents, be like, hey, I'm getting deployed. Like, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. So I'll be on the boat. So I know I ain't going to have no service. I have nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. The only thing I give is my email address. So you can send me emails and like write cards or whatever. But the card, like
Your parents
mailing.
panic at all?
Like, oh, where are you going? Where are you going? What's up? Well, where are you going? It's like,
Yeah, cool. Because looking at it from the outside in, I'd be like if you were my son,
yeah.
Look, where are you going?
Yeah, where are you going?
But more importantly, why?
Yeah, why are you
know what
going?
I mean?
Like, why are you going?
Why are
What
they
are you gonna do
sending
over
you
there?
What's
Yeah.
going on over there?
Yeah,
That you need to go there.
Exactly. So I
So
was like,
you're 22, you get deployed. Where do they send you?
so for that, I was a part of the Operation Groundhog.
Don't say too much. Bro. It's going on the internet.
It's whatever. It was
They're gonna come back and get you.
give me
Come on.
redact me. You can see me with the black hood. Just come in. FBI agents were looking for someone such. No, for that one would be like make NATO. We're NATO. We're part of NATO, right?
Right,
We're
right.
like make the other nations join NATO.
Uh-huh.
Like show our like force or our strength of the military. Realistically, here's our boat. And here's the carrier or like the helicopters, jets, whatever, our capabilities of things essentially. or like what we
Just
do.
flexing at that
Yeah,
point.
flexing. Yeah, basically
hardcore.
flexing.
Yeah.
So I went to Norway for a couple of days, and then a blizzard happens with the pull back into Norway. That was fun. That was Tromsø. And after our second, like, so we landed a lot of spots, which is pretty sick in my opinion. I never thought I'd be ending in Europe, or like near the Baltic Sea. So I was like, okay, this is cool. So we ended up in Estonia was the next one. That was a pretty cool spot because we were like super close to Russia. They're like, hey, they gave us another debrief. Like, hey, if you go out and like go to the bars or whatever, just be aware of the Russian mafia there.
Right.
Because it was like they were there.
It's
I
high
was like,
stakes.
High stakes, yeah, wherever you're at. You keep on your toes. And if you tell if you're military, lie. Lie
Oh,
about
yeah,
it.
really?
Yeah, they tell you lie about it. Everybody
Makes
did.
sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, everyone really didn't care. Like, I'm military. You're like, oh, you're from that boat? Like,
Right,
sure.
walking around. I'm Brian.
I'm
You're
Brian.
Russian. I don't know how to talk.
Exactly.
You gotta blend in.
I gotta blend in. You gotta get their clothes or whatever. And so no, they were like, if you lie, say something, say you're here for a trip or whatever. So I would like, hey, I'm from Texas. I'm from college. I'm just seeing the life out here in college with a couple of my
They're
buddies.
just touring out here.
Yeah,
Just so-
because they never let you go by yourself. That they always have a buddy with you, like a group of 6 or more, or like 4 or more, or 2 or more. But you can only have a maximum of 6 people. So all the 6 of us would just go out and then just do our thing out there, and then people talk to us or whatever. It's like, oh, you look different from everybody. Like everyone was white. I'm like the brown person out of like everybody else.
Yeah.
Like,
You're definitely not from here.
yeah, you're definitely not from here. Where are you from? I was like, Texas, Mexico. I would say Mexico or Texas, one or the other. And they're like, oh, you're Spanish? Like, yes. And I start talking Spanish. Like, okay, cool.
You ever get
Welcome.
into fights, bro?
Like, no, I never got in like in a fight
So,
like that. No.
so while you're there in deployment and stuff, would you guys ever go into any kind of like any combat, any kind of
So
situations,
scenario situation?
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all remember. During that time was like when for us we would just show there's force or whatever. So we loaded up my job was like load up rocket pods or whatever. And everybody else did their thing. And then they left and they came back empty. So I was like, oh, they shot something, or did they show like a test site? They said they're going to a test site. And they're like, hey, we showing everybody there what we doing. And apparently Russia was like, hey, America just hit our pipeline, our gas pipeline. I don't know if y'all heard about that or seen it.
I remember, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was like one of those things. It's like, hey, America hit our pipelines. They hit it with like bombs or whatever. So I was like, and my parents told me that. I was like, what? So I realized like they just told it was like a training mission. Like I don't know if it really happens or whatever, but
Okay.
a lot of that was just espionage. Russia was like tracking watching us.
Right.
Yeah, it was just seeing like camouflage boats, like fishing boats, but actually are like Russian intelligence boats, which is pretty weird. I was like, okay, this is like real life. Like, oh, whoa. Like, one day these guys are going to be like, what's up? Like, do something.
Right.
Yeah.
So being out there, do you think, like, it has to be mentally challenging?
Oh, mentally.
Because obviously you're away from family. You're on your own. I know that you make acquaintances, you make friends, you still make your comrades that are there.
Yeah.
But what's the hardest part being out there, just mentally and emotionally?
It's just your own little ocean, like day in, day out, 30 days a day, doing the same thing, like in a repetition, like working 12 hours. For me, it was like working 12 hours, getting yelled at for stuff not being correct, and you're just in the ocean. Just in the ocean, just looking at water, which is like, okay, I signed up for this. Same view every day in, day out. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna look up, like, see the stars at least, like look at stargazing at nights.
Okay.
Because it like switches out.
Yeah. So I know what we said a little while ago as far as like you kind of kept your faith kind of under wraps, for lack of a better term. But do you, looking at it in an overarching perspective from the moment you were 19 to how old were you when you got out?
20. I was 25.
25. So from 19 to 25. How did your prayer life change, or your walk with Christ change? Do you think it was like for the better, or kind of took a hit? It kind of came back a little bit weaker?
It took a hit. It took a hit. I gave in to the peer pressure. I gave in. I was like, all right. Because for us on a boat, they did like services, but nothing gospel, like nothing Christian, like nothing, none of that. So I was like, what do I do? Like none of my friends proclaimed the faith. Nobody else in my companion proclaimed. Because one of the things in the military is like you can proclaim your faith, but not teach it. Not like teach it, but like you can say it, but not like change my mind about it. Not like change this, change that.
Right.
Given given to the religion expression stuff type thing. They would never let you do that. It was like one of those no-nos, I guess. Same with political beliefs. They're like no-nos.
Right. They just okay.
Yeah. So it was like I was just like following like, okay, I guess. So I was like I still believed, but I didn't believe like how I intended, how I needed to be realistically.
Right.
So, I was
so
like,
there was progress that needed to be made.
Yeah, there was progress to be made. It took a hit. It was hindered. And I was like, just gave in. Went to the nightlife. So I was like, okay,
right.
Bunch of nightlife for me. Like nothing you can do. Everybody else wants to do nightlife. Nobody really wanted to do tours. None of them wanted to do like see outdoors or whatever because you can do that stuff. But most of them would just end up at bars, nightclubs, such and such. I was like, okay, I guess I'm here now. So
yeah,
like,
but you think you're there for 1925. You did 6 years,
mm-hmm.
and you're pretty used to that life at that point. Same thing, repetitive, every single day.
Every day. After our first deployment, I was like, okay, cool. I was like,
and how many deployments did you do?
Two. Only the two. It was once during the Baltics, and the other one was like our Cooldet, which is Italy. So I was in Sigonella for like 8 months.
Okay.
So I was like there also in Italy. So I was like, much better. I could see land and travel in Italy, see the town, I guess. So that was pretty cool. I like that. I was in, I forgot what the place was called. I don't remember, but Sigonella. Like the little island of Italy.
Yeah. Okay,
yeah. I was right there.
I'm horrible with geography, but I know what
the little boot.
I know the boot.
The little boot, the little thing he's kicking away, the little soccer ball. It's like, that was us. We were there. And whenever that happened, the whole Israel and Gaza thing kicked off. So like, hey, I know you're here for your land or whatever, but we're going to need you on the boat to like figure out, just taxi. Hire enlist officers to talk about things or whatever. It was like, we were just basically a taxi service. I didn't do much of my like foreign side of things as much like I thought I would do, but it was nice nevertheless. I was like, I didn't do much, so we went out there. We were just outside of Jerusalem, Gaza, just patrolling, sending.
Did you guys go walk around and see all that stuff?
No, we didn't. We never touched land because it was like hostile.
So you're okay
on the ocean still.
You're on the ocean.
Still on the ocean.
Looking in.
Yeah, it was just like, there it is, you know. Like out there somewhere is Jerusalem.
I want to go out there.
Out there somewhere is Jerusalem. But
not right now.
Yeah. Yeah, just not right now.
So at that point, even with the second deployment, whenever you get back, you're 25.
Mm-hmm.
So you did
23, 24, 25, yeah.
24, 25. Okay.
I was 24. I was getting out.
So at that point, you come back home. You were pretty excited to get
back? Yeah. For me, it was like, they were trying to convince me to stay in. They're like, hey, we can get you orders to wherever you want. Where'd you want to go? I was like, all right, send me to Japan. If you give me those orders to Japan, I'll take them. Now, and they were like, got it. And then they put some strings for me. They're like, hey, you know you want orders to Japan? We got you.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like, yeah. You're going to be in, I forgot what it was. It was like a little town outside of Tokyo, or the little region of Tokyo, or whatever. Atsugi. It was Atsugi. The Atsugi base.
I would have never guessed that.
Exactly. Yeah. And they were like, hey, you're going to be here, but you're going to be detached on the boat. Like, only thing you'd be doing is like going on boat. Just escorting. Same thing.
Obviously, you're Navy, so it makes sense. You're never actually going to probably be on the island.
Yeah. And so I was like,
the water.
Yeah, I was like, if you give me a list for 6 years, that's $36,000. They give you bonuses too if you stay in.
Okay.
Depending. So if you do 3 years, it's like $6,000. 10 years, or like not 10 years. 4 years is like $12,000. It jumps a lot. Then 6 years is like $36,000.
So they're trying everything.
They're trying everything to stay you in. Most of the people, fall short. They're like, okay, I'll stay in for these orders.
Right.
Me, it was like, not for me. Then I realized it was like not for me, and I was like, I miss my family.
Yeah.
Like I'm like I did the same thing for 5 years, so I think I'll call it quits for now.
You would say you're family oriented, huge family.
Yeah, I was super family. I was super like homesick. Homesick.
So at that point, you get back and you remember the moment you saw your parents for the first time.
Well, I did take like leave like before and after, so I was like I did see them like periodically, like vacation. It was like vacation wise. Come back from deployments, like, hey, you give me like 2 weeks off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you can see them, like you can take them or stay home, whatever. I was like, I'm going home. Like I want to go home.
Yeah.
See them, they're like, hey, how you doing? Like, they were like baffled that I was there but not there, because I was just I was used to this old schedule, so I was like, not really talking to them as much. I was like more off to myself.
Yeah.
Like, I was
I mean, you've been alone for this whole time. Yeah, you were around people, but you were just
like, never talking to anybody.
Self-sufficient, just doing your own
thing. One thing. And then when I came back home for like the first time, I remember this. I came back to my home for the first time. My parents were like, "Oh, hey, welcome!" And all my family comes over. All my family comes over. And my mom did bring it up one time. She's like, "Yeah, I remember you used to be off by yourself. Everyone was there talking, like, where's Brian? Where's Brian?" And you just see me just cleaning guns or whatever, just off to myself, just doing my own thing, I guess.
So do you think being out in deployment kind of made you more introverted?
Yeah, it made me super. Yeah, it made me super introverted, never extroverted. It depends on
people. You
people.
say it to this day, or
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah?
A little bit. It kind of like lingers. I'm trying to like leave that behind, like talk to more people, but it's like
that's a big chunk of your life, though.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause you were
5
you were
years.
25 when you came back.
Yeah, it's like last
You're
January.
26 now, 27
About to
now?
be 26
Yeah,
next month. So it was like 5 years. It was like
yeah, that's
all by
That's
myself.
a huge chunk of your life.
Yeah, it was just me and my boy, and like, just us together. It was like he's the only one like family wise, you know, like because the military like builds family bonds or whatever. It's like he was the only my family like bond.
Well, other than that, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
just being isolated, what do you think would be the hardest thing having to adapt back to civilization, if you want to put it that way, just regular everyday life?
Everyday like regular life as a normal dude, as a civilian. That's what they call it. It was like
Just civilian, yeah.
adapt, like get away from that military mindset, like get away from being achieving above and beyond, and like also everybody's there to help you. You're not by yourself.
Okay,
There's always someone you can rely on.
right.
And for me, it was like family. I can talk to my family again. Like they can be there for me whenever I need it. Because when I was over there, I had nobody.
Yeah.
I had a friend, but he was mostly deployed, and we like lived together. So it was like sharing an apartment. Most of that time was just me by myself because he was deployed.
Yeah.
The time he gets there, it was like, oh, "What's up, man?" Like we just hang out, do our own thing, whatever. But coming as a civilian, I was like, I got somebody now. I have a trust system now. Like,
Right.
since my family is here and I'm back with my family, I can like have family oriented values again.
You're
You could say.
right.
So that was like a big thing for me.
Do you think, obviously you're always going to tie everything back to your faith,
Mm-hmm.
do you think, like from a spiritual perspective, you were relieved to be back here?
Yes.
In the sense of like, I know you said that being in the military, your spiritual walk kind of took a hit.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever it started getting back on track, I'm assuming whenever you got back, hopefully,
I did.
Did that take a while? Something you had to get, like you had to. How am I trying to word this? Like,
Custom do it again?
you think you had to force yourself to kind of climb back to God, or was it more like a sense of relief? I'm back and kind of just lean into it, or do it more openly, more so.
So when I was beginning to leave, my 4th year, like I was getting out, and I came back home. I was like, "Hey, I'm heading home. Like I have no purpose being in Virginia. I was raised in Virginia. It's like I have no purpose here. There's nothing for me to do over here." And for me, I signed up at a college where Daniel used to go to, University of Technical Institute. It was like the automotive and diesel side. It was like, "Hey, we can give you this 2 courses for like a year, 18 months. They're like, after that, you can find your work." I was like, "Cool, I like that." So like they signed me up as soon as I was leaving. I was leaving in January. I was like, came back. I was like, I miss my family values, but like also miss my side of religion. I was like, I miss that
Yeah.
because I remember one time, like personal side, like I remember like my faith was super low. I was like all by myself. Like, and I realized I started settling in. Like me one day, I was just in the parking lot of my store. I was just there. I was driving back home from a Friday, or just getting some groceries or whatever. Just sitting in the parking lot. I was just there by myself. I was like, man, I got nobody. And it just came in. I was like, the depression hit.
Overwhelms you, yeah.
Overwhelms me. It came in one spot. Like my parents called me. And I was like, hey, and I missed them a lot. And it just came all at me at once.
Yeah.
All at me at once. And then I was just sitting there crying profusely. And I was like, man. And I just called out to the Lord. I was like, hey, like it's been me a while, like just praying, like getting my faith back or get something in track. Like, going back to my roots. So I was I know I was a big believer, and then I was like crying, and I was like, man, like it's been a while. It's been a while since felt the presence, or like felt like good again.
Yeah. So whenever you came back, and you're back in Wichita at that point, I'm assuming, with your parents, and then you start going to church again routinely.
No. So when I came back from the military, my parents weren't going. So when they started filling me in, the church got shut down during COVID. So for them, those 5 years, they didn't go to church.
Oh, okay.
No one went to church. Like my family.
Yeah, I know COVID shut down a lot of stuff.
COVID shut down everything.
A lot of churches.
Yeah, a lot of churches got shut down. And they were like, we haven't gone to church either for these 5 years, you know? And I was like, okay, like, have you found anywhere? And my parents were like, no, we haven't found anything in January. February rolled around. I was like, hey, I'm talking to the bishop from the
Avina.
Bishop Avina.
Dang, so whenever you guys came here, that was fresh from...
Yeah, because Avina told us, like, hey, I know it's far from y'all in Dallas. There's another one in Springtown. I was like, they go to our affiliation. They're like, you should go to them. They're really great people. I've been there a couple of times. My mom was like, okay, we'll try it out. And that's when March rolled around. March was like, hey, or April. I think it was March or April when we started coming. Like, hey, there's a church in Springtown. Would you like to go? That's all my mom told me. Like, you don't have to go, but you can go. I was like, all right, I'll go. Like, I go. Why not? You know, I missed that. You know, I was like, I missed that. Like, I want to seek again. Like,
like inside you knew, you're like, I need that.
I needed that. Like, I need something.
Absolutely.
I was missing something because, like, during the nightlife, I'm in the military. I was missing something.
Yeah.
Like all the stuff I did, the drinking and the smoking, whatever. I was like, I missed something. Like, something was missing out of me. And then when I was like 23-ish, I started realizing, like, this is not for me.
Right.
There was like a satisfaction, like a coping mechanism. You could say.
Yeah, you're doing. Yeah.
I was just coping
Just to get by.
Just to get by. Like,
absolutely.
Just to fit in with the crowd, I guess.
Yeah.
And I was like, not me. I didn't seek it out more. It was like I dabbled and that was it. I was just done situation. And so after my mom told me, it's like, okay, I'll go. Sunday rolled around. That's when we came in. First time. I was like, first time in a long time. Like, I've been in the church for 5 years. Yeah. Been in the church. I was like, man, I miss this feeling. And it was like small. I thought it would be bigger because how the Avina was like, oh, it's gonna be big. It's like right. And I was like, okay, cool. I was like hoping like not like one of the big ones. So I was like, okay. Then came in here. I was like, oh, this is a small church. Everyone's like, and we saw everybody like get together, like how everyone. It reminded me back when I was in my first church where everyone was like cool together, like a family oriented. So I was like, I like this. I like this a lot. I miss this. This is one thing that I missed a lot.
Right. Yeah, because I remember whenever you guys first showed up, my dad was talking to me, and he's like, "Hey, we're gonna have some visitors." Because Bishop called them.
Yeah.
And we're like, okay, that's cool. And I think I want to say it was on Wednesday, right?
I think it was on a Wednesday. Yeah, it was on Wednesday.
And I remember you guys showed up. And all of you guys came together, you know. And then, I mean, right off the rip, I remember talking to the youth and talking to my brother and being like, hey, like, we need to go out of our way to socialize because everyone's socially awkward. So we need to talk to him. But you guys were super easy to talk to, you know. And especially that's why I was asking you about the Navy and stuff because you'd figure it would make you
super introverted,
harder to talk to, you know. But I remember it being super easy to talk to you. And Moses as well. Yeah, Moses so it was cool. Yeah, Moses. Yeah, he's open, but super personable. So, dang, I guess that looking back, I didn't know or it didn't click that whenever you guys started coming to church, you were fresh out of the Navy. Fresh out of the Navy. Yeah, no churches, no nothing. Because at that point, I know we didn't really talk about that, but while you're deployed, you're learning to play the guitar. You took one with you?
I buy one. I bought one from Guitar Center. The one I have now, up there.
To take with you?
Take with me, yes. Play the acoustic.
And the whole time you're just teaching yourself?
Teaching myself how to play. You know, it's like looking at videos. Started off at YouTube. The course on YouTube. Little music here and there. You know, I was like...
And you're playing worldly music?
Yeah, worldly music, of course. I was like, yep, all worldly music.
Just learning some...
Yeah, learning a song to get by, get better. And I was like... And then I left that. Like, I didn't play it as much as I needed to. But I just know, like, the basic chords or whatever. You know, and I was like, okay, I like this. I like playing the guitar because it reminded me of the first pastor as well, like how he played. How he played with the electric.
So while you're there, you said that it reminds you of being at that church.
Yeah.
So while you're there playing the guitar, you don't have an inclination to play like, you know, some of the old church songs, or were you playing some of those maybe? No? Never.
And I was like, and I wanted to play it because I was like, I felt like the purpose of me was just play music. I was like, okay, I think I like this. I like sort of rooted me back in a way, but not like full commitment because I didn't know much of the songs, the rhythms, or how to play them basically. Because most of the songs, worldly music was just basic 4 chords. These are like up tempo, upbeat, switch them out every so often. So I was like,
a lot of church music is like that too.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, okay, cool. I like it sort of brought me back. It kind of remembered me, like where I was at, like where I was young. I met like nostalgia feeling, you could say, like the nostalgia feeling. I was like, I like this. You know?
So at this point, I know it's been a couple of years. You feel like you're pretty acclimated. Is there any things that you're still holding on to from just being so engulfed in just that Navy lifestyle?
Well, it was just the language. Language barrier is like, yeah, it's like it's sort of a big one.
Like in the sense of just like socializing and stuff
Socializing, yeah, getting to meet people. It's like in school and like in the college I go to, there's like a lot of veterans as well.
Yeah.
But I see now some of them are socially awkward. That's me as well. So I was like, we don't open up until we bring up a subject about the military, like.
And then
we just click. Like it's like it's like, oh hey, you've been there.
That common ground.
Yeah, that common ground. Yeah,
and then you're bonding over trauma bonding.
Trauma bonding with each other. It's like
honestly, I mean,
exactly.
that's what it is. You know what I mean? Because that's why I talk to my wife sometimes about it. I'm like, I know you've told me you didn't really see combat, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I would feel like you would still have a sense of, I don't want to call it PTSD, but you still have a sense of you were exposed to that lifestyle.
Yeah, exposed.
So
to
whenever you come back and you're in just civilian society, just everyday life, no matter what, especially being from when you're 19 to 25, you still hold on to some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff that you see, just that regular routine, just even the hearing of combat happening, because even if you weren't in it, like, you're still like in that life, you know? So I'm like, whenever you come back, it makes sense to still be introverted, just have that mentality of
loneliness, like the bond, trauma bond, whatever.
Right. Yeah. So, but I mean, like I said, you're super easy to talk to. So,
yeah, I was like, I need to get out of my box or something. Like I'm out of the. And I started realizing when I got out, I was like, I'm out the military. I need to work on something. You know, like talking to somebody. You know, like get acclimated to like the civilian side of things.
So at that point, you get back and you start going to technical school. You go into auto mechanic.
Automotive and diesel, so it's like both courses.
Automotive and diesel.
Yeah.
How much longer you got with that?
August of this year.
And you'll be done.
And I'll be done.
Done.
Out.
That's what's up. So if you guys need your car fixed,
exactly. What's up?
You got two of them right here.
Bring them in. One does exotics, the other does the civilian commutes, the regular old commuters, the daily.
They might break them, guys, but they'll fix them at some point.
It's the purpose.
They'll eventually
trial
fix
and
them.
error, you know. Trial and error.
If
you don't succeed the first time, try again. Bro.
If we don't succeed the last time, then just call it quits.
After about 3 times, I'm done, bro.
What's your end goal with auto mechanics? You're gonna go with the diesel?
Depends. Like where the
Get him to work with me, bro.
He's tried, boy. You ain't got him a job.
Nah, bro. This we weren't hiring, bro. I'm gonna work on McLaren. He gonna work on Aston Martin, bro.
You work on some Bentley.
We're right across from each other, bro.
Chill. No, but I don't know where it's gonna take me. Like the job I have now, like working on a golf course as a golf course maintainer, it was like kind of everything: gasoline, diesel. So it was like kind of best of the both worlds. So I was like, okay, it was like not bad. And so,
And you're at the golf course, bro.
I'm at the golf course.
So you get to go in there for free. Or what?
I've been in NASCAR,
Hook
bro.
me up, bro.
But NASCAR is like after, like it could be depends.
Oh yeah, I've heard NASCAR and that's pretty.
Yeah,
That's pretty
after. So apparently,
If you get NASCAR, you're giving me some tickets, bro.
exactly. I got you. Like, we're gonna pick her. Like I got
If
the
not,
tickets.
we're not airing this episode.
Holding it to me, blackmailing me.
Yeah,
Blackmail, bro.
Blackmail. Yeah, it was like because they do programs like special programs like special manufacturer programs like Ford, like Mopar, Chevrolet, whatever, the Dodge scene.
Yeah.
Peterbilt, NASCAR was another one too, and now they're doing aircraft. So I was like, is that their aircraft side?
Yeah.
Which I'm sort of used to, or NASCAR. So I was like, I don't know where the aircraft side is going to be, but if that opportunity came up, I'm used to that opportunity.
It's gonna be in Virginia, bro.
It's gonna be Virginia. I'm like, well, I'm back.
So at that point, just before we go into the next topic, post-military, you'd say your spiritual life has grown?
Yes.
Gotten closer to God?
Yes. A lot. Coming back to church, I was like, okay, I'm seeking again. Like,
Yeah.
I was
How so?
18.
What areas of your life you feel like, hey, I've seen changes here, I've seen changes
I've
there?
been involved in church. I'm a part of the church now. Like,
I can attest to that.
Yeah, I've been just boom. One day you came up like my brother like, hey, you know you play guitar and you'd be looking for guitarists.
Dude, I've been praying, bro. I tell you, I tell these guys all the time. I was like, we would pray. I mean, we have prayer every Monday and stuff. But we'd pray and I'd be like, God, send me a guitarist. And I'd say, send me vocalists. And like, we're filling up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, whenever your brother Moses, like you say, that guy's an open book.
Yeah.
And he came up and told me that, yo, my brother plays guitar.
Yeah.
That's all I needed to
Yeah,
hear. Bro.
you hear.
That's prayer answered.
Yeah, right there. Boom.
So
there it is.
So at that point, keep going though. You're saying that you felt you're more involved in church.
And then I'm more involved, more with the youth now. I didn't know I would be involved with the youth.
Right.
Like going out, like just last week in Houston or a convention last year.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great. Like, I miss this. Like, I didn't miss it, but this is a new experience that I never felt before in my life. Since I'm like older and I have more of a free range, I'm an adult now. Like, I can like choose if I have to like go or not. But most of the times, like when I was a kid, I was forced to. I'm on a rebel stage. Now, like more of an adult, I'm like more of a understanding. I was like, I gotta go.
Feels pretty good, don't it?
It feels pretty good. It feels great.
Your own decision. I know it sounds cheesy or
yeah,
silly.
it sounds cheesy.
Whenever
Super
you're
cheesy.
younger, you're like, I'm doing it because my parents are telling me.
Yeah,
to do it.
yeah.
And even though you might say, "No, I want to be here," it's like your parents are kind of taking you.
Yeah, kind of taking
But
me.
whenever
Like,
you're the one
going
that's
or not.
driving yourself,
Yeah.
you have your own money, you have your own life.
Yeah.
And then you choose to be the one that's
Exactly.
like, you know what, I'm going to go to that service. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
You're like,
This is great.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different. It's a different.
It's a good feeling.
feeling of satisfaction for sure. So we're going to the next section.
Okay.
And we'll keep this centralized around you.
Essentially.
Okay, we're going into your relationship status, Brian.
Oh,
Are you single?
no, I'm not. I'm taken.
You're taken?
I'm taken. Happily for 4 months now.
There you go. Dang. What day was it, bro? Remind us the day I put you on the spot.
Let's see.
What was the weather like outside that day?
It was dark. It was getting dark. It was 7:00. It was pre daylight saving time. The night was getting dark, so I was like, I had to do it now.
So there's a different dynamic, you would agree, as far as whenever you're a single guy and you're in a relationship.
Completely different.
And you learn a lot about yourself whenever you're in a relationship, right? Me personally, like, you become more selfless, right? And not everything revolves around you.
Yeah.
You have to account for someone else
Someone
just
else.
because you're caring about them. So with that in mind, what do you think being in a relationship, what has that taught you about yourself? Okay? And we're not going to put your significant other on blast.
Okay.
Okay, so everything is just
No,
Brian.
yeah, bro. Go ahead.
Brian.
Talk smack, bro.
Brian
My
oriented.
downfall, Brett. So for
What have you learned about yourself in this last 4 months?
the 4 months that me, realistically, as a person, like, I don't care as much. I don't know. I don't like, it's either good or bad because some people take it good, some people take it bad. It's depending how. But for me personally, it's like, you are a person of yourself. You be free. Like, we're going to be a part of each other, learn a lifestyle, but I understand that you have a life. I have a life.
Right.
It's like, whatever happens, happens. I'm here to support, like moral support, and then be there physically, emotionally,
Right.
As a supporter of your primary supporter. So, you know the rules and relays of such things, like how life works, things happen. I'm going to be there no matter what. So, for me, for like a while, I was like, during my 5 years in the military, I never had a girlfriend. So I was like, sort of new to me as well.
Right.
So it
Absolutely.
was like new. I was like, I don't know what to do.
It's going to be a dumb question. There was girls in the Navy, right?
Oh, yeah, a lot.
Okay. I didn't know, bro.
Yeah, so there's a lot. There's a lot.
Okay.
It's a good majority of them. Most of them were like doing their own thing.
Okay, carry on.
And I'm an understanding person. Like, I'm not quick-witted to get mean, quick-witted to get mad. I learned two sides of the story and then put it as one. So both options. So I'm not as much of a toxica person. I'm not a toxic person.
Right.
I'm not demanding. I'm not over-possessive. I'm like sort of do what you got to do, realistically.
Right.
So
as far as, obviously, you're in a relationship, and we know that the relationships that you have, we want to make them, or they should be Christ-centered, right? So whenever you hear that, what does that mean? How would you implement that in your relationship? How do you keep Christ at the center of your relationship?
So how I felt about that was like, basically keep them always in center. Like, keep them, like, go to church always, go to the events always, worship him, let him, like, as it states that, he should be centered in everything. Like, everything you got to do is just through him, only through him, There's a purpose he brought you together, right? So he's got to appreciate and praise that, like, he gave you somebody in this world, like, that you can be a family, build a family, build legacy.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's like a new one for me as well, because I was like, I don't know how to do these things, It's like, also she can guide me as well. Like she can tell me scriptures and all that. Like give me more of a seeking, like to seek out like how this works, to understand it, get a grasp of things. I'd be like, okay, got it,
Right. Yeah, because I don't know if you've seen the video. There's this guy preaching, and he makes a really good illustration of. He says he has a drawer out. I don't know if you've seen the video. He's got a drawer out in the middle of like where he's preaching from, and he said there's a difference between prioritizing God and having God at the center.
Mm-hmm.
He said whenever you prioritize God, God is the top shelf of the dresser.
Yeah.
Right. And at that point, everything else falls underneath it, whether it be your spouse, your family, and then they start taking part of the bottom part of the dresser.
Yeah.
He said whenever God is the center, He is the dresser.
He is everything.
Right. So no matter what part of your life you're opening, God is at the center of it.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever it's as far as your relationship goes, the way that I would see it would be keeping God at the center of it would be no matter where you're at or where you guys are doing, you should be unashamed
and open
to be pronouncing God, right? And not in the sense of you're going to go out preaching together.
Yeah.
It's more in the sense of growing that relationship together. Of you guys go and eat, you should be no shame of, hey, let's pray together for our meals.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I know that sounds silly, but you're already praying individually, right? Whenever we go out, we shouldn't be ashamed to pray for our meals. But at that point, you start growing that prayer life together, right? Because at the end of the day, I mean, you're dating someone, and it's not just to see where things go. You know what I mean? You're in a courtship, so it's like, okay, let's see how our prayer life actually meshes together.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, just as you go through, just know everything that you do, like you're saying, have God at the center, more so in the sense of putting it into practice.
Yeah,
don't praying be together.
Yeah,
talking about scripture together. You know what I mean? Bible studies together. Doing all these different things together, just like in our youth class. You know what I mean? We do everything together because we have God at the center of that area of our life.
Yep.
So at that point, the last question is, what does leading spiritually look like in a relationship? Because we know that, as the man or as the male, you're the head. You will be the head of a household, and even in a relationship, you're the one that has to be the one where she follows you because you follow Christ, right? She follows Christ, but she follows you because you follow Christ. Yeah. So at that point, from that perspective, what does that look like to you? How does, especially I would assume, I want to get your perspective just from a military background, being in that role, but now going into a relationship, knowing that you also have a purpose within that of leading, of having that, I don't want to say authority, but having that leadership role.
Yeah.
So how does that spiritually look like in a relationship for you?
Spiritually look like? Let's see. So for me, it was like how you worded it as like a shepherd. Because we have sheep or whatever. It's like, guide, lead. You have to lead by example.
Right.
Since I'm like, I won't say lead by example, but lead by faith. Because you'd be like, if you proclaim, if you follow, you're great. And following for that, I would say that don't be ashamed. Always, like you said, have them center. Don't be ashamed to proclaim. Be understanding. Don't be fast to be mad. Don't be fast to
absolutely
understand where it is. For me, it was like the situations, like understand where everyone's coming from. Don't be overly protective. I mean, like be protective, but like don't be like excessive.
Absolutely makes sense.
Yeah, just be open about things. Just be open. If it's from Christ, sure. Like always be open to that. But like, you also have to take like notice like what things you've been through and like trying to be like, no, that's like a no. Like that's not. I don't like that. Like,
okay.
No. Yeah, basically like that. Like be like some stuff you got to be like, no. Taylor, why?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
This.
I mean, whenever me and Chris started dating, a lot of the times we would talk, and anytime we would have conflict, and not conflict in the sense of like anger, but conflict is in the sense of just disagreements, looking at things in perspectives. Like you say, it's saying why is of uber importance.
Yeah,
not a no because I said so.
No, because I said so.
It's a no or a yes because of this. Because at that point, like at the end of the day, that's what you have to be biblically firm. You know what I mean? You have to be biblically rooted, spiritually rooted. Of like, hey, if we're gonna guide, just if you're gonna be the one that's the head of your household, your foundation has to be solidified.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Your identity in Christ has to be solidified.
Yep.
You're the building block for your future. So if my foundation, if your foundation, if my brother's foundation isn't set, what are we building on?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But let's get a little lighthearted.
Okay.
right?
Okay.
It's marriage counseling.
Marriage counseling 101 right here.
101.
Take
Go
the advice.
ahead.
Take the advice.
So I'm gonna ask you some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Don't think about it. Just give me an answer.
Gotcha.
All right.
Gotcha.
What book of the Bible do you connect with the most?
Will be the Corinthians. 1 Corinthians.
Okay. What's harder, fixing a stubborn engine or understanding a difficult Bible verse?
Understanding a difficult Bible verse.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can be vague.
Yeah. At what point in time do you feel closest to God?
What point? Where I'm every morning giving thanks.
Yeah.
Yep.
So with that being said, would you rather pray in the morning or pray at night?
I'll pray in the morning.
What's your go-to worship song?
Arturo Trejo's I forgot the song. Well, I'll think about it. I got the song.
We'll come back. Pass.
Pass.
What's harder, Navy Reserve duty or staying consistent in prayer?
Consistent in prayer. Consistent in prayer.
Why? I know this is rapid fire, but I want to know why.
Why? Because the military would just be the military. It's like it's a done deal for me. As a reservist, 2 more years, I'm done. I'm out. It's just a contract. This one is like you have to put your faith into this. You gotta seek it.
That makes sense.
You gotta seek it. There's no stopping.
Okay, if you could sit down with one person from the Bible, who would it be?
Hope. Job.
What's your favorite thing to do when playing the guitar? Worship or praise?
Worship.
Worship. Coffee and Bible or music and Bible?
Music and Bible.
Music and Bible?
Music and Bible.
You listen to music while you read?
Yep. Like the ambiance music.
Okay.
Yeah. Gives more the feel or aesthetic.
Energy drink or coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee,
I'm going back to
really?
coffee.
Bro, you wanted a Red Bull a while ago.
I was drinking like 3 coffees this morning. I would have declined it till tomorrow morning.
Fair enough. All right. Getting back into things before we close out.
Okay.
Where do you think your spiritual walk is currently?
It's an up and down. It's a path that everyone walks.
Okay.
Everyone stumbles on her path, but just know that you're on the right. I'm on the right path. Right path. That at the end of the tunnel there will be light. That's where I'm at because I'm slowly getting away from that. I'm slowly getting away from it and understanding how everything works.
Right.
And I'm grateful that I have this opportunity now. That I don't have to deal with such things anymore.
Okay.
And I can be firm. I can walk straight.
Is there any areas of your walk where you'd say, hey, I know specifically I'm lacking here or I'm not doing enough here?
Reading the
Where
Bible.
you'd say, okay.
Reading the Bible is like consistent. Because when I go to work in the mornings, I play like the audiobooks. But for me, it's like I need to read it, or just like playing in the background and then read it.
I feel that, yeah.
Like
There's
follow
sometimes
along.
where I try to listen to stuff and I was like, I'd rather
Yeah.
me physically
Yeah,
read it.
yeah. That's like one of the areas I need to like understand the scriptures and I use it in like day to day life. Like, okay, this person went to this, you know,
Right.
stuff like that.
So at that point, looking back at your life, just with the experience that you have, just because you're in a very specific situation where not a lot of people have that military background.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That are active in the church at your young age. So I feel like you've obtained a very special experience that, if honed in on, can be great and awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So with that being said, what would be something that you would want other listeners to know, other people who are listening to this podcast, that you tell them just about your faith?
My faith. Don't lose it. Don't lose the faith.
Yeah.
If you were born and raised in the church, don't lose it. like how I did. I sort of went away with it, and I wish I would have stayed more to it.
Right.
And see the different churches and the other places I went. That was one thing. Like looking back at it, I was like, I could have went to see these churches, bring someone along, show them the right way, so I can talk to somebody at least about the things I see. Talk to somebody like, hey, God is universal, like around the earth. Like, come on now, like I want to like experience that.
Yeah.
Like seeing like the different people, the different like the Christianity of that religion, the Christianity of that place.
If that culture.
How it is, how it's different, and how it's the same.
Different places,
yeah,
but
different places.
leaning into that.
Yeah. It's like how the Bibles look. Probably get a Bible from everywhere I went, in their language. That would have been
lean
cool.
Into that, yeah.
It would have been cool, But yeah, don't lose your faith. That would be number one.
Don't be ashamed.
Don't be ashamed.
Honestly.
Proclaim.
Yeah.
Don't be closeted. Just be open about it. If they ridicule you,
so be it.
So be it.
Lest or lose, right?
Yeah. Lose to lose. At least you are sending yourself in the right path. And
Absolutely. You're walking in the right path.
You're on the walk path, and you have support from everybody around the world. Someone will support you. Someone will be like, this guy is speaking the truth.
Yeah, I think that's very true. No matter where you go, there's going to be
somebody out there
who is also in like-minded faith.
Yeah.
Also walking.
Maybe someone who's closeted.
What's great, I was going to say, had you opened up about your faith, there probably was someone else that was like, hey, me too. You know what I mean? But
it was basically me and my best friend. Before I was leaving, we never talked about religion once. Never talked about it.
No?
Never.
Why, you guys were both deployed and stuff?
Yeah. We weren't deployed. We were just coming back, and I was leaving. That was like my fourth year heading out. Yeah, he was here.
Gotcha.
Yeah, we were at a restaurant.
Okay.
And one of my friends, they were dating at the time. I like hooked them up like, hey, you got perfect for each other.
Yeah.
Come on. And she brought up like religion. I was like, religion. I was like, religion. Okay, this is new. And me and him looked at each other like, never talked about it once.
Oh, yeah?
Never talked about it once. And for me, they were like, so do you believe? Like, yeah, I was Christian my whole life, like from then to now. And then here I am. And they were asking me questions like this and that. And I was like, like I couldn't answer those questions because I was like, I wouldn't say anything wrong. I was afraid to say something wrong that was like true,
Yeah.
So I was like that. And my buddy was telling his story, like how he lost his faith. Like when he was a kid, he went to church as well back in Tennessee. And like his family like went away with it because the preacher there was, they were like was letting go of things and like stuff happening. So he kind of left that. He kind of left it, but he was a man of faith. So I was like, oh man, it was crazy how you left it.
Yeah.
And so they were asking questions or whatever. Like I couldn't say it correctly. Like how would I say it? Like responded the right way essentially. So it was like kind of the things like I wish I would have known.
Yeah.
Then and now, now I know a little bit more than I did. A little bit more of a, a style, So I was like, okay.
Makes sense.
If I go back, I would have just been like, this is me. This is what I did. This is all the questions you need to answer.
Right. Yeah, but hindsight, now you know.
No, I know.
Now you got to double down.
Exactly.
That way, if the situation happens
again, I can say, this is this, this is that.
So we'll end it with that. With this next question. With the news that we heard this morning. Today is February 28th. We heard that the U.S. base got bombed by Iran.
Yeah, one of the bases in Bahrain, which my buddy is from.
How does that make you feel? What thoughts come to mind?
No, I was thinking about my friend, my best friend.
Your friend?
My friend's right there.
Oh, he's out there right now?
He's out there right now in that same spot. Yeah, I saw the video at 4 a.m. when I woke up today. I was like, what's up with this? And I saw Bahrain. I was like, my buddy, my best friend was there. I was like, man, I should like say something like, hey, you good? Like, hey, you up?
How long until you hear back from him?
I was like 30 seconds later.
You already did hear back.
Yeah, we heard back from him. Like, we were just talking to each other. So I was like, oh, man, you good or whatever? Like, no, man, they hit the base. Like, crazy stuff happening. I was like, what? Like, what? He's like, yeah. I saw the video. I was like, there's no way. Like, were you around there? He's like, no, I'm in my apartment. Luckily, they're not hitting any apartments yet, but I think an update an hour or two ago, they were hitting apartments. So,
yeah. So looking forward next couple of days in your mind, what thoughts come to mind, knowing that if anything was to escalate, what does that look like for you?
Hopefully not get deployed.
Yeah.
Hopefully not get sent again for
right.
something dumb. than I'm now.
But that is a possibility.
That is a possibility. Yes, if need be, draft happens before the draft happens. They'll send us.
Send in the reserves.
Or send the active reserve. But the reserves who are getting out and they have like a contract of 8 years in total. Then you're out. But like for us who are still in, you have to wait like having completed 8 years. They're like, 2 or 3 years from now, or like 2 years from now, like, or we need bodies, we need people. You can go out there. You're gonna get sent out there, no matter. Or if you claim like a disability, or whatever, they're like, okay, never mind, you can't go.
So if they call you and they call you out, are you physically ready?
Yeah, I'm physically. No. Spiritually, yes.
Spiritually, yes. That's gonna be my next question.
Spiritually, yes. Now I know, like I can proclaim now that I have support system. That I have the Bible now. Like,
right.
I read now.
You have your foundation.
I have a foundation now. I have a purpose now. If need be, I probably proclaim. No matter what happens, like
absolutely.
No matter what happens, I'm still gonna proclaim. Like don't be afraid. Probably.
Hopefully, you don't have to get deployed.
Yeah, hopefully I don't get deployed.
Pray you don't have to.
Yeah, hopefully. Let's pray. But if need be, then probably that's my purpose in life.
Yeah.
Purpose before.
So we'll go from there.
We'll go from there and be like, okay, save somebody, save people.
Yeah.
Save people.
Any last words, Daniel? No. All right, you guys. Well, that's gonna wrap up that episode. Having that conversation with Brian, you heard from him. Key takeaways are just don't be ashamed. We kind of had that similarity of we were kind of ashamed growing up. Just closeted Christianity, as silly as that sounds, but it's sad reality for a lot of people. That they'll say, I kind of want to just keep this under wraps, keep this to myself, but it's of high importance to proclaim the name of Jesus. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't be ashamed of walking with him, of letting him guide you. And I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. We'll see who's next that we get to know him. But Brian, glad you came by.
Alrighty.
Glad we were able to talk.
Yes, sir.
And people get to know you.
Yeah.
So drop your Instagram.
Yep, it'll be Brian Q254.
There it is. So hit him up on Instagram, you guys. Yeah. And then we'll catch you guys next time.
I got the song for you, and I got the song.
Oh yeah. For real, what song was it? Let us know.
The song. So it was Alejado de Dios, but the song but the people who created it.
Oh, we can't play it, but we're gonna drop it.
Drop it. You gotta drop it now.
But they can search it.
They can search it. Yeah.
All right, you guys. God bless. Stay blessed. Faith over fear every day.
Deuces.